Are you watching closely? Because what I am about to tell you shocks the conscience. If you're new here, don't forget to like this video, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. You don't want to miss what's coming next. Let me take you straight into the heart of the matter. In court documents recently, Nnamdi Kanu, the detained leader of IPOB, has told a judge that he is weak, tired and frustrated, and is making a plea to be allowed to go home or at least get proper medical attention. This is not just rhetoric. It raises big questions about his health, his treatment in custody, and what rights a defendant has while waiting for trial. Here's what we know so far. Kanu has filed a motion asking the court to order that he be transferred from the custody of the DSS, Department of State Services, to a hospital, specifically the National Hospital, Abuja, citing worsening health conditions. According to a supporting affidavit by his brother, Emmanuel, Kanu has recently complained of body weakness, pains, and serious problems with his liver, kidneys, and low potassium levels. He is also said to have a swelling near his armpit that needs urgent medical investigation. Earlier, the court attempted to hear the motion, but that hearing was stalled. The judge reportedly returned the file for reassignment, since the judge's vacation judge powers had expired. The court said it would recommend that the chief judge reassign the case quickly because of the health issues involved. Also, the Nigerian Medical Association, NMA, was ordered to conduct checks on him, and they submitted a report. The report shows that for days, he was allegedly denied food, water, and his prescribed medications, which may have contributed to breathing difficulties and his current weakness. We must also remember this trial has a long, troubled history. Kanu was first arrested in 2015, escaped while on bail, was later arrested abroad and brought back. This is now his trial under a fourth judge, after multiple recusals and delays. These delays have frustrated observers and have raised serious concern about how long this would drag on. So where do we stand now? Kanu's defense is pushing hard, his health is deteriorating, and they argue he deserves immediate medical attention outside DSS prison facility. The court system is caught between procedural rules, the judge's term ended, and the urgency of a human life. The NMA's report adds weight to the claims. It is not just the defense's word now. Now, let's talk about what this means, and why you should care. First, human rights. Even someone facing serious charges has rights. If a detainee is seriously ill, the state must ensure medical care. The question is, has that been done properly in this case? Second, justice and fairness. Delays in trials, especially in sensitive political cases, erode public confidence. If the legal system allows long delays under poor health, people begin to wonder whether justice is equal. Third, politics and public perception. Kanu's plight is not just a legal matter. Many in southeastern Nigeria and across the country see him as symbolic. His health condition will become a point of debate among supporters, critics, and even international observers. And here's something you should think about. Suppose the court does allow him to go home or get hospital treatment, what assurances would there be that he returns for trial? Would that set a precedent? On the flip side, if the court denies his request and his health worsens, public outcry will be fierce. I want to hear from you in the comment section. Do you believe Kanu's health claims? Should any defendant be denied hospital care when their health is failing? Let's talk about this. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your engagement matters. So, here's where things stand. The defense team is saying that Kanu's health has gone from bad to worse. They are not just making noise. They've submitted medical reports showing that he's battling serious physical weakness, low potassium, liver and heart issues, and that he's not getting the right food or medicine in DSS custody. You can imagine what that feels like, being in confinement for years, under constant stress, and now your body is failing you. Meanwhile, the prosecution, representing the federal government, keeps maintaining that he's receiving adequate medical care inside DSS custody. They argue that moving him out could be risky, that he might try to escape again, because remember, back in 2017, Kanu jumped bail after the army raided his home in Abia State. Since then, the government doesn't want to take chances. But people are asking, at what point does security become more important than humanity? Because when you hear a man in that condition say, "I'm weak, tired, and frustrated," it's not just a figure of speech, it's a cry for help. Now, if you're watching this, I want you to pause for a moment and ask yourself, if it was your brother, your father, or your friend, would you be comfortable knowing he's sick and not getting the right care just because of politics or bureaucracy? Drop your thoughts in the comment section, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already, because these are the kind of real conversations we bring to you daily. Let's talk about the legal side for a bit. According to Nigeria's constitution, every citizen, even someone accused of a crime, has the right to life and health. Section 33 and 34 of the 1999 Constitution guarantee humane treatment, and that includes proper medical attention. So, if the court finds evidence that Kanu's health is truly in danger, it could order that he be treated in a hospital, maybe even under tight security. Now, the DSS claims they've been allowing doctors to visit him, but his lawyers say those visits are limited and supervised, which makes it hard for doctors to run proper tests. That's why they asked the court to allow a full medical check at a neutral facility, like the National Hospital. As things stand, the case has been stalled again because of technical court issues. The last judge's tenure ended, so the case must be reassigned. That delay means Kanu stays in custody longer, without resolution. And this is where many Nigerians are getting tired. This trial has stretched across 4 judges since 2015, with no final verdict yet. Now, let's not forget the wider context. Nnamdi Kanu is not just any defendant, he's the leader of IPOB, a group that has called for an independent state of Biafra. That's a sensitive topic that touches emotions across the Southeast. Every time there's a court hearing or a statement from Kanu, you can feel the tension rise. Many of his supporters are saying this: if the government can't even treat him humanely, what message does that send to the rest of us? But others argue that Kanu himself must face the consequences of his actions, since his broadcasts and commands allegedly led to unrest and violence in parts of the country. Now here's an interesting twist. In some reports, even Ohani's Ndigbo, the apex Igbo socio-cultural group, has appealed to the federal government to allow Kanu access to proper medical care and consider a political resolution to the issue. That tells you the matter has gone beyond the court. It's now a social and political concern. Let's not lie, Nigeria has a long history of high-profile cases dragging endlessly, especially when politics is involved. Whether you like Kanu or not, this case is testing the fairness and transparency of our judicial system. If justice must truly be seen to be done, then fairness and compassion should apply to everyone, not just those in power. And for those asking, what happens next? Here's what's likely. The case will be reassigned to a new judge soon. The court will decide whether to allow his medical transfer or keep him under DSS care. Depending on that decision, his legal team might appeal again, especially if they feel his health is worsening. We'll keep watching closely because this story could shape how Nigeria handles human rights in politically sensitive trials moving forward. Before I continue, let me remind you again, if you're enjoying this update, please like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next update. We bring you verified facts and balanced analysis, no noise, no propaganda, just truth. Many Nigerians, especially from the Southeast, are expressing deep concern about Nnamdi Kanu's health and how long he has been in custody without a clear conclusion to his case. On social media platforms like X, formerly Twitter, Facebook, and even on radio talk shows, people are asking one major question: if he's truly sick, why not allow him proper medical care? Some Nigerians believe this whole thing is turning into what they call a political punishment, not just a legal case. They argue that keeping him locked up for years without progress in court doesn't help national unity. Instead, it deepens the division between different regions of the country. On the other hand, there are others who feel differently. They say, yes, he deserves medical care, but let's not forget the kind of tension his group IPOB has caused in the past. You know how emotional this Biafra topic is. It's something that carries historical pain and strong feelings. So when Nnamdi Kanu's name comes up, it automatically stirs old wounds. But let's face the truth, this isn't just about Nnamdi Kanu anymore, it's about how the Nigerian justice system handles fairness. Because if someone so high profile can be held for years without trial or proper medical attention, what happens to ordinary people who have no voice? And that's one of the reasons why this story is trending again. Many Nigerians feel that our justice system needs reform. Faster trials, better access to health care for detainees, and more transparency from agencies like the DSS. Now, let's look at what government officials are saying, or rather, not saying. So far, there hasn't been any fresh official statement from the Attorney General's office or the DSS about his latest complaints of weakness and frustration. But usually, they insist that he's being treated well and that his health is stable. They also often remind the public that the matter is sub judice, meaning it's before the court, so they can't speak too much about it publicly. Still, civil society groups and human rights organizations like Amnesty International have been vocal for years, saying that prolonged detention without fair trial violates both domestic and international law. And now, with this fresh complaint of ill health, those voices are getting louder again. Let's be honest, this moment could go two ways. The court could show compassion, grant temporary medical leave, and boost confidence in the justice system. Or it could delay further, which might fuel more anger and conspiracy theories about why this case is being prolonged. Now, here's where things get interesting. Some political analysts are saying that the federal government might eventually seek a political solution rather than a purely legal one. Because remember, this isn't just about one man, it affects peace and stability in parts of the country. There are whispers that if things get too tense or his health becomes too bad, the government might quietly negotiate a deal, maybe something like conditional release, to calm tensions. But for now, we're still at a crossroads, and only the new judge can decide how this next phase plays out. Now, beyond the politics, this story should make us all reflect. Whether you support Kanu or not, one thing we can all agree on is that no one deserves to suffer in silence if they are truly ill. A nation that values justice must also value humanity. If you're watching right now, tell me what you think. Should the court allow him to go home for treatment under strict monitoring, or should he remain with DSS until the trial ends? I really want to hear your opinion. Drop it in the comments. And please, don't forget, like this video, subscribe to this channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss when we drop new updates on this and other major national stories.